Halloween's over, but in my house, we definitely still have a lot of Halloween treats.
So we decided we were going to take all the books we read in October and give them a candy rating of sorts.
Some were king-size Reese's.
And some were those nasty little things that people stick in your basket when you don't really want to see that for Halloween.
Like what? What is a nasty little thing that they stick in your basket that you don't want?
Toothbrush, pencil,
pennies. I feel like somebody in Grandma's neighborhood used to give us pennies.
Yeah. Grab your leftover Halloween stash and join us to talk about books.
So I feel like I did pretty good this month. I read 5 books. How'd you do?
I did 7, although I DNF'd one.
Well, I'll let you go first this time.
Alrighty. My very first book that I read to continue on in the Murderbot series was Rogue Protocol by Martha Wells. This is the 3rd book, correct?
I don't actually ever remember the order because all the names... They're not Murderbot 1, 2, and 2. They all have different names.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's the 3rd one.
Okay.
The sarcastic and self-aware security android known as Murderbot continues its mission to expose the corrupt megacorporation Greycris, which has been involved in illegal activities surrounding alien artifacts. Still on the run after freeing itself from its human owners, Murderbot travels to an abandoned terraforming project where Greycris once operated, hoping to gather proof of the crime. I candy rated this as M&M's fun size because I haven't been able to read just one. Sweet and crunchy and everything you want in candy. Like I said, I think it's the 3rd book in the series, and I am waiting to get my hands on the 4th book. You said there were 7 of them?
Yeah, and I think there's more. Like she's still writing some.
Continue to write them because I love them, and I've also been watching the series on TV, and the hubs really likes watching it. That's why I made them M&M's.
All right, I like it.
Because you want more. My 2nd book that I read was Blood Over Brighthaven, another one that Genevieve recommended, and it's by M.L. Wong. In the magical advanced city of Tehran, ambitious scholar Siona becomes the first woman admitted to the elite high magistracy, only to discover that the very magic sustaining her society is built on the suffering of the marginalized Quen people. She and her unexpected assistant Tamil uncover this truth and must choose between preserving her career or exposing the corruption, even at great personal cost. I chose a large Kit Kat bar.
Regular size.
Regular size. Large would be better.
Not those little dinky ones.
Definitely not those dinky ones. Those aren't satisfying. The reason I chose this is because this book, I feel like, should be shared with everybody, because to me, I found it to be, it starts out sweet. Well, no, it doesn't start out sweet.
The very first chapter's not sweet. I had heart palpitations first.
Harrowing trip to the grocery store in the snow.
Okay, there you go.
On slippery tires. You get your hands on a Kit Kat bar. Then it gets a little sweet because you're proud of the character, Siona, who is, doing stuff for womankind. Yeah. And then discoveries are made about what they call the blight. And then you get to the crunchy inner part. And to me, the book read as an allegorical story exploring real world injustices. Thoroughly Kit Katted that up.
I like that to share. It should be shared with others.
It should be shared with others.
And it's a standalone, which you gotta love. Like, you don't have to read 7 books or something like that.
I would read another one.
I know. That means it's the best, though, is when you're done reading it and you want more. That means they finished at the right time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I finally read Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Wiswell, or Wiswell. I think it's Wiswell, which you I think you were with me when I bought this because we went to Barnes & Noble and I got like the Barnes & Noble special edition. This is the one that was cozy horror and I wanted to see what it was like. Okay.
Oh, yeah. And?
A lonely shapeshifter named Shishen, who lives hidden in a ruined manor, is rescued by Homily, a kind human woman. And as they grow close, the creature must both conceal its monstrous nature and reckon with Homily's family's vendetta against the monster. So for this, I couldn't decide between two candies and I had to use this one because why not? So I'm calling this a milk dud.
Oh.
Because, so although...
that box has probably 2 duds
Yeah,
in it.
exactly. And my daughter loves these, and I think they're okay. But I think the name was kind of apropos for this one. So I was really looking forward to this. I thought it was really unique. However, I did not like the majority of the characters in the book. Except the monster. You do like the monster. But I did like they had interesting names. So the one is named Homily, which might be a word that you recognize.
Yeah.
Her brother was named Catharsis.
Oh.
She had a sister named Epigram. And then there was another sister. They all had names that were like parts of speech, essentially, or types of speech, like that kind of thing, which I thought was very fascinating. Anyway, I didn't like any of them, though. It had a unique plot. It had a twist that I didn't see coming. I knew something was up, but I didn't quite see the twist, which is pretty hard to get me with a twist. And this was my first experience with like body horror. Well, I shouldn't say body. It wasn't body horror. Gore. It was definitely like gore.
Gory.
She's a shape-shifting monster and she makes her shape by like sucking up living and non-living things like that she kills. So she used other people's body parts to make her shape and stuff like that. Not Frankenstein like she literally like absorbs them and becomes them.
Okay.
Which was not scary. It was just kind of like, oh, okay. You know, I mean, you know, it's supposed to be gross. It didn't make me like go like that or anything. But so I had it built up, you know, I wanted to try it. I gave it like a 3.25. So it was okay. I didn't keep it on my shelves. I got rid of it because I can't really see reading it again or anything like that.
Pretty book at the half-price bookstore now.
And I turned mine in for some other books I want to read.
All right, sounds good.
The next one I read was actually a ebook, so I read it on my Kindle. It was Murder at Spindle Manor. So this I read for my Our Fantasy Bingo. This is a self-pubbed book, so it's still self-published. So it's Murder at Spindle Manor by Morgan Stang, and this is actually a series. This is the first in a series. Huntress Isabeau arrives at the remote Manor Inn of Spindle Manor to trap a shape-shifting monster hiding among 10 guests, only to find a human murder has also occurred. Now she must solve 2 mysteries before dawn to stay alive. I also rated this M&M's. But the reason I rated it M&M's was for the nostalgia factor.
Okay.
So this book, it was very fun. It reminded me of the movie Clue. So if you imagine the movie Clue with Tim Robbins and also make it like steampunk, do you know what steampunk is? That is what this book, and in fact, there's a scene in the book where they're all like following each other around to go from clue to clue like they do in the movie where he's like, and then we go here, and then we go here. Like it's written kind of campy like that, but it was like a dark and stormy night. Like it very much reminded me of Clue, which was great. Like, I mean, that was once I like leaned into that, you know, I was really into it. So I gave it 4 stars, M&M for nostalgia. And I like your idea of the pieces. It is a series. So I could enjoy more stories with Huntress Isabeau.
Okay, so. My third book was one that was chosen as a TBR for October.
It was our mini golf TBR.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be a horror. The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. This takes place in 1950s Jim Crow, Florida, where a 12-year-old Robbie Stevens Jr. is unjustly sentenced to the brutal Gracetown School for Boys, where his ability to see ghosts or haints, which that was a new word for me, and weirdly enough keeps popping up now.
Oh, really?
Reveals the horrifying truths buried by the institution. Meanwhile, his older sister, Gloria, fights desperately on the outside to free him, navigating racism, family trauma, and a system built for exploitation. Ooh. Now, I didn't get the horror factor.
Okay.
as much. Not the ghosty, spine chilling.
Okay. It wasn't scary?
No, I mean, it was scary. You do
okay.
not want to be in this boy's situation.
Okay.
The ghost, I did figure out there's icy dead people moments in this book.
Is that a spoiler?
I don't think so, because I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Tell you. It becomes apparent in the book. It's a big part of the book.
Okay.
What is interesting is the Gracetown School for Boys is a real thing. Yeah. So there was some historical fiction in it. It was a good book. I enjoyed the book. Yeah. It was well written and, a really horrific situation. Any event.
What's your candy?
My candy rating for it was a swirly blow pop sucker.
Which just sounds like such a fun candy.
Well, the reason I did that because it was swirly, because the story, not only is there the horrors of the racism of the South, there are the horrors of the haints. The ghosts. And there are the horrors of being unjustly imprisoned as a 12-year-old boy. Right. And there's his sister and other family members in the outside that are trying to do things to help him out. Mm-hmm. And once you crunch through all that hard shell stuff, pop. There was a wonderful comeuppance.
Oh, nice. Okay, good.
So when you get to the bubble gum and you're really chewing on the story and you blow that bubble, pop. Okay.
So you worked hard to get to the bubble gum in the center, and there was bubble gum in the center.
There is bubble gum in the center.
Like that.
There was a nice comeuppance to that story, which I liked. So in order to continue with this theme for some reason,
just as people are wont to do,
just to cleanse my palate, my next book was The Invention of Wings by Sue Monk Kidd. Young Sarah Grimke is given an enslaved girl named Hetty Handful as a birthday gift, sparking a lifelong bond between two women whose lives unfold in parallel but unequal ways. It's set in early 19th century South Carolina, and it follows the intertwined struggles for freedom, identity, and purpose amid the rising tides of abolition and women's rights.
Wait, so I have a question. Okay. So have you read Sue Monk Kidd before? You have, haven't you? I feel like you have.
Might have. I don't know.
Okay, so you thought this was going to be a palate cleanser, and then you found out it wasn't, or you knew what you were getting into?
I didn't know it was going to be a palate cleanser. But had I known, because it was back-to-back racism.
Right, yeah.
Which was rough for me.
Okay, yeah.
Again, though, I didn't realize until the very end that Sarah Grimke and her sister, Sarah primarily, was the first female abolitionist. Okay. At 12 years old, her mom gave her the slave Handful, and she tried to free her from the time she was 12 on. Her story is fantastic. Okay. Handful's story had to be more made up by the author. So, but the author, she tried to do her best to be realistic. She brings up a lot of the Jim Crow laws. So
what's your candy you gave it?
My candy was a sweet tart.
No, those are not traditional sweet tarts, by the way. Those are the ones we have.
These were the best sweet tarts we could come up with, because like sweet tarts, they're fruity, they're sour, they're powdery to me. Yeah. I kind of feel like, and sorry sweet tarts, because you've been around forever, I don't know that anyone would say they're their favorite candies, but if that's the candy to eat, you'll go ahead and chow through it.
Okay, got it.
I liked the fruity part because there was a lot of discussion about the fruits and stuff. I'm
literally they were on a fruit farm? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I was trying to remember, the kind of farm that they were on, but I don't remember. Yeah, so I thought sweet.
So did you like it or not?
I did. I liked the book. I would highly recommend it.
Okay, so the next book I read was Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. This is a special edition. It had a dual cover, and I liked this cover. This is the other cover, but I liked this one better, so I flipped it. And I actually, when I read it, I take the cover off, and I really liked the naked hardcover. I've read tons of T. Kingfisher. I think she comes out with a book a month. I'm not even joking. She has a bunch of books coming out. Healer Anya, who specializes in ingesting poisons to develop antidotes, is summoned by the king to treat his dying daughter, Princess Snow. But as nothing she tries works, Anya stumbles through a magic mirror into a chilling parallel world that may hold the key to Snow's illness or the kingdom's destruction.
Ooh.
So that's why when I first saw these edges, I was like, what the heck is up with these edges? Because I know it was a Snow White retelling. It's mirror. It's supposed to be like mirror glass.
Yeah,
and once I figured that out, I was like, oh, that's really cool. The candy I picked for this is the Reese's Pumpkins, not just your little Reese's cups. I like these because they're really full of peanut butter flavor.
Okay.
But it's not real peanut butter, it's like that fake powdery sugary peanut butter. And I do like these, don't get me wrong. I like real peanut butter though. The reason I picked that is because I really enjoyed this. It is a creepy adult retelling of Snow White. This was actually scarier than Someone You Can Build a Nest In because it has like mirror stuff where she falls asleep at night and she thinks somebody's looking, like she thinks she's seeing a reflection in the mirror, and then she turns around and there's nobody there. Or she'll be talking to Snow and Snow will give her an evil look in the mirror, but it's not really the face that she's making, like that kind of stuff, which was really creepy to me. I don't like, compared to the horror book that I read, I felt like this was creepier. However, compared to other T. Kingfisher books, it had a lot of her similar elements. It was an older female character that was, a little self-deprecating and, unsure of herself, and, talked about like her aches and pains and of being old, which is always, fun to hear about as like an older person. But there was just something about it that wasn't quite as fairy tale and magical. Like, I almost feel like she writes horror books and she writes fairy tale books, and it's almost like she tried to marry them together. If that makes sense. I think
I've read Kingfisher before too.
Yeah, you've read Nettle and Bone, I think, is what you read. I still really liked it. I gave it 4.25 stars. Mostly, it was really perfect to read in October.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was good for that
in
one.
that mood.
But not quite the real peanut butter that I'm used to from Kingfisher. Then I read a novella that showed up from the library, so I don't actually have it here, but it's called Automatic Noodle by Annalee Newitz. In a near future post-war San Francisco, a group of sentient robots revive an abandoned ghost kitchen and open a hand-pulled noodle shop, only to face a wave of review bombing and systemic prejudice that tests their right to exist and serve. So it was a novella, and I don't normally rate novellas very highly because they're novellas. You can only get so much in a novella. I really enjoyed this though. It was cozy. It was definitely what I would call a cozy story, but it really it made you think about like AI and robots in a way that that we will probably have to think about someday. Yeah. So
that's the thing about Murderbot. The first
if he has
book,
freedom,
there's a lot. There's a lot discussion of how much freedom.
And so this is a post-war book, and it felt very Handmaid's Tale, where it's like California has seceded and is like starting over again, and the rest of the United States is like where America seems to be heading right now, if that makes any sense. So the robots have like run to the California side, and it's all about whether or not they've earned some rights, but they don't have the rights to marry or own a home or reproduce and stuff like exactly. So I gave this an Almond Joy. I do love Almond Joys. I know they're a very contentious candy amongst people, but it was really sweet, like the coconut in an Almond Joy, and the almond surprise, like this. It was a cozy dystopian robot book. Like, that was just a surprise to me. Like, I don't know how you be cozy and dystopian. Yeah. And it made you think about a lot of things, and it wasn't like an everybody's happy, but they were figuring it out kind of thing. So I actually gave this 4.75, which is pretty high for me for a novella. Dang. That might be a little, that's what I gave it after I read it. That might be a little higher, because it's not like I've been thinking about it, but it was good. I really enjoyed it.
Jacked up on sugar.
Jacked up on Almond Joys.
After my two heavy slavery, abolition, haunting books. I called Jen up and I'm like, help, I need a palate cleanser. And she steered me towards Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. A battle-weary orc, Viv, hangs up her sword to open the first coffee shop in the city of Thune. As she builds her cafe with the help of newfound friends, Viv discovers that creating a peaceful life can be its own kind of adventure. Oh my gosh. This one was, unfortunately, she won't give me the big one.
I told you we could share.
Snickers all the way. My favorite. It's a sweet, silky, chocolatey, salty nuts are out there because of some of the characters. The creamy caramel is there. This was exactly how this book read. I mean, the thing that cracked me up, Travis Baldree narrates it. And the majority, the key characters, are female.
Yeah.
So that was kind of funny, but they are also all...
like orcs and...
they're all mythological creatures.
Yeah.
I could almost picture Shrek. It could be a Shrek,
I suppose,
book, almost. Instead of fairy tale creatures, though, it's succubuses, and totally loved it. The next book I started was The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store that I listened to. This is, I'm sorry, let me give you an inkling about The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. It was written by James McBride.
This was from the mini golf TBR, I think.
I believe so, yeah. A small Pennsylvania town in the 1930s becomes the stage for a story of love, loyalty, and community when a Jewish couple hides a deaf black boy from state authorities. Through their intertwined lives, McBride reveals how compassion and solidarity can thrive even amid racism, poverty, and prejudice. I'm sorry I had to DNF this book.
It happens.
I could never get a bite out of it. Because it just seemed mushy. You know, maybe it was delicious. Maybe I could have finished reading it. I thought about going back to it, but I got it out of my mom's library and brought it up to her, and she was like, oh yeah, I didn't finish that one either.
You know, that you actually just reminded me. I also DNF'd a book this month, and it was one that was from our mini golf. I DNF'd this book so hard that I forgot that I had even read it. So I tried to read Shake Off the Ghosts because October, I was like, why not? Oh, and I can't remember Shake Off the Ghosts. I will put a picture of it up because I don't remember the author right now. So it was presented as a rom-com about a haunted house, and this girl is hired to come into this haunted house to basically watch it while it gets prepared to be sold or whatever, taken over for an estate. And it's in Scotland. The man...
Sounds Hallmark all
It
the
does.
way.
Well, it does, except... And I thought it was just going to be a cutesy romance. The man that's in the house is also... He thinks he's supposed to get the house, and so there's some conflict there. There was an entire scene where they both had diarrhea. It was so, I didn't get it. It was just boring. And I made it through like 30% of the book, and I still couldn't believe how much more I had left. And I started reading reviews, and people loved it. And I'm like, I don't get it. But then other people hated it, and hated it for the same reason that I did. And I didn't really care about either of the characters. And finally I was like, I'm going to DNF this. And so that's when I started reading Secret of Secrets by Dan Brown, but I didn't finish it in the month of October. So you guys have to wait till November to hear about that one. But I forgot that I had I probably spent 3 or 4 days reading that book. And, you know.
I don't even think I gave the Heaven and Earth Grocery Store that much time.
So I will also give that an old
Too
apple.
many books that I do want to read.
Yeah. Exactly. Sorry, did I steal your thunder? Did you have more you wanted to say about the last book that I remember reading, apparently? So this is The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. The original cover actually does look very similar, but this one has a fun slip off. So yeah, okay.
That is not even paper.
I know, it's like a plasticky. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty cool. So wait till you hear about this book.
Witchy.
Wait till you hear about what it's about. The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. Dr. Walden, one of England's most powerful magicians and the director of magic at the elite boarding school Chetwood Academy, must protect her 600-student institution from encroaching demons and the insidious internal cracks of a legacy built on power and privilege. I decided to rate this a full-size Snickers bar because I also love Snickers. Now, this is my caveat to this book. If you analyze it as a book. It had some flaws. There were some plot lines that moved a little quickly and some that didn't. But for me, I am a teacher at a independent private school, which is the exact type of school. Like she went into middle school classrooms. She went into high school classrooms. She worked it's in England. So they use like the year 11 A form, like they use those terms. I felt totally seen. Like she talked about being a teacher the way that it is, and teachers at a private school, which have their own separate hand of issues. And so for me, I think I enjoyed this more than other people would. I think I think there are lots of people that will enjoy the story for this, but I probably enjoyed it more than your average person because I could really relate.
Could put yourself into it.
Yes, exactly. There were lines that she said that I have heard myself say. There are, she understood some nuances. Now hers was a boarding school, so obviously that's a whole other, like mine is not a boarding school. Emily Tesh got it. I don't know if she was a teacher in her life. When I bought this book, I thought it was a college, like when I could, based on what I had read about it. And then I started reading it and I was like, oh my God, this is a middle and high school. This is so fun. I was like taking pictures and sending it to my colleagues. My favorite was when she talked about the 3-step lesson, which is the lesson you make up the 3 steps you're walking into a classroom because you didn't have time to plan the night before. And I was just like, she gets this. So I rated this a 4.5. I can see why other people might rate it a little bit lower, but if you are a teacher that likes fantasy books, then you should check this one out.
The next book that I read, because I enjoyed Legends and Lattes so much, was Bookshops and Bonedust by Travis Baldree. I think I called you up and said, oh, I love that book so much. And she said, there's another one out there. It is the prequel to Legends and Lattes and follows the young orc mercenary Viv, who is sidelined by an injury in a seaside town and reluctantly spends her recovery helping out a struggling bookstore. Mid dusty shelves, new friendships, and a hint of romance, she discovers that stories and the people who love them can heal more than just wounds. Again, it's got to be another Snickers bar.
Do you want the giant Snickers?
I'll take the giant Snickers bar because just like the other ones, crunchy, creamy, salty, everything. And well, actually, I'll make it a fun size because I can eat 2 of these and not feel bad. So loved it.
All right. So I have a question because I've read Legends and Lattes and I own Bookshops and Bonedust, but I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
Do you feel like, does it matter what order you read them in? I mean, you read them in print order, but do you think it would matter?
I think you'd be all right to read them. There is reference. Well, you'll be reading them in the correct order anyway.
Right. I know. I'm saying if somebody read Bookshops and Bonedust
Bookshops and Bonedust first, no, I think you'd be fine.
Okay.
You'd
just
be
wondering.
fine doing that.
Well,
if you did.
The new one, Brigands and Bread Knives, or Bread Knives and Brigands, I can't remember. It's a different character, and I think it's a character that comes from Bookshops and Bonedust.
I have to laugh because there's necromancers.
Oh, and now you know what that is.
And now I know what that is. I
didn't make it up.
Oh, it was very Halloween-y.
Oh, okay.
To read, which was fun. And I was amazed the way he writes this character is just, you can just see it.
Yeah.
And it would, to me, it would be really difficult to describe.
Yeah.
But anyway, loved it. The last one I read, I actually kind of read it in between, but it's called A Mind of Her Own by Paula McLean. And it was a short story. I don't even know if it was a novella. 25-year-old Marie Curie leaves her native Poland to study at the Sorbonne in 1893, determined to make her mark in science despite the obstacles facing women. While she forges a partnership, both professional and personal, with fellow physicist Pierre Curie, she must reconcile her ambition with the distractions and demands of love and society.
And let's be clear, her name was not originally Marie Curie. It becomes Marie Curie because she marries Pierre Curie. They're not related. I love Marie Curie, so I want to make sure that
and it's an interesting time frame because the Eiffel Tower is going up, electricity is coming into play, the telephone. There were some big technologies going on in Paris at the time.
So what's your candy analogy?
My candy for this one, I made it a Tootsie Roll. This one especially because it's short and sweet. I thought it was neat. The story is written as if Marie is telling you her life, and it is a quick pop out of one period of time in her life. She starts it with, this is what happens to me. Okay. I win, Nobel Prizes. I end up having a child die because of my
research.
Research. There was a bit. I'd like to know more.
I can tell you all kinds of things.
I know. I'm sure you could. But I thought it was neat. A Tootsie Roll is a nice chocolatey, chewy bite that makes you take your time and enjoy the flavor.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And that's the way I felt the book
So it was written in first person because some people do not like first person narrative, but
it was I am Marie Curie.
Okay. So I know Audible does a lot of free short stories. Was that one of these? Do you know?
I don't know.
Because it could have just been on
Mom's
Grandma's
library.
So I also read a few short stories that are free on Kindle, and because Kindle and Audible are all Amazon, whatever conglomerate monopoly things. If you get the free Kindle book, you also get the free audio that goes with it, and
nice.
you can read your Kindle and it reads the audio to you at the same time.
That'd be nice.
It is nice, but
immersive reading.
Yes, exactly. And so I've been reading Into the Shadow, which is I think 7 short stories, and I read the first 2 in October, but I'm going to wait and talk about all of them together so I can kind of tier rank them and stuff like that. And so I was wondering if that fell in. They have a ton of free short stories on Audible that way too. So.
Nice. Yeah, I thought it was well written and I learned a little bit. There it is, our official Trick or Treat Candies tier list for October.
So now it's your turn. Drop your favorite books from October in the comments. Let us know what candy you would pair some books with.
And if anybody out there prefers sweet tarts over anything else.
Not only are these our opinions on books, these are also our opinions on candies.
And we're not being sponsored at all, but would happily accept sponsorship
I don't think that's
in
how
candies
it works,
from any of the following. Anywho, if you like this theme or the video, hit the like button and subscribe for more bookish updates.
And we promise next month's wrap up won't have quite so many sweets, although it is Thanksgiving, so maybe it'll be food related. I don't know. We'll
see. Until then, happy reading.
This isn't going to fit in the cup holder.
No, you're just going to have to hold it or put it up
the
on the
whole time.
Oh,
okay,
no. And it's a book about M.L. Wang.
You actually say Wong.
Is it pronounced Wong? Okay,
I know that's very common mispronunciation.
Okay, is it Vera Wang spelled W-A-N?
Yeah, well, but hers is M.L. Wong.
Okay, upon the suffering of the marginalized Quan people.
Quen.
It's not how they pronounced it.
Yes, it is. They say Quen.
Quen people. Let me do this again.
I listened to the audio too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Quen.
A lonely shapeshifter named Shishen who lives hidden in a ruined manor.
Say that 5 times fast.
Well, if you keep interrupting me, I'm going to have to say it 5 times fast. To trap a shape-shifting monster, are you noticing a theme?
Yeah.
Hiding among them. Okay. Blah, blah.
I'm starting to get cold and shiver.
Okay. Don't talk so much then.
Sorry.
It's okay.
You'll cut a lot of that out. I know you. Did I say his name right?
You did.
This one is a battle-weary orc, Vic, hangs up... Viv, I'm sorry. All I was going to say was my next book.
Oh, I'm next, though.
Oh, sorry. I thought
okay.
You went through all of yours.
No,
okay,
I still
never mind.
I know. I just said I was going to do this, and now I'm butchering it again. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to go with the first take. There's a spider on you. Okay.
Was this the last one I read? Have I done 7?
So. Hold on.
Leaves her native Poland to study in the Sorbonne. Sorbonne. I knew that was wrong. Did we ever say espresso shots?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said it at the beginning.